Hello, my name is Dean Gothard and welcome to my screencast. In this screencast I will be covering two pieces of my best work in relation to 3D art and 3D props. Here are a few images of the work I will be talking about today. Okay, so this is the first model I'm going to be talking about, and this is the FM15 assault rifle. I'll be going through each stage on how I made it and how I got to the final renders. Okay, so this is 3ds Max. This is the software I used to model the gun. As you can see, they're in a group at the minute. That's because I needed to do that for the final bake. So each piece of the model are separate. So I decided to do this because it was fairly easier to make the model. It also gave me a better chance to assure that every piece was accurate to the original reference image. Okay, so once I've finished creating the model, I then had to unwrap it. So an example of this is if I select a part of the model, then go to UV unwrap editor, you can see how everything has been unwrapped properly. So if I turn on the checker patterns, everything's smooth. There's no like shift of pattern or anything like that. So I can tell that this would be really nice to texture on, and there'd be no problems with that at all. Okay, so I've got the low poly version here finished, and everything's unwrapped properly. So now what I need to do is open up a high poly version that I've made. So as you can see, it looks much more, there's much more detail in this. So I need to transfer all of this lighting data to the low poly version. So as you can see, there's 4.4 million polys there. I need to transfer all that lighting onto the low poly, which is just under 10,000. It's also worth noting that both of these models have to be in the same position before I actually go to baking them. Okay, so this is Substance Painter. I've imported my low poly version. So now what we want to do is bake the textures. I've already baked this, so all I need to do is select the normal map. So that's fixed a few lighting issues and the ambient occlusion. So this should bring a lot of the lighting detail into it. So once I've done that, I started to build up the base materials. So I worked on the metal parts first, making sure that it was fairly accurate to the original reference. Just adding a few scratches in. Just wait for that to load. So yeah, adding parts to adding more metal parts without paint onto it. So for the things like the buttons and just things like the bolts and things like that. Just add a few more in. So I've got some materials for the mag. So that's got its own material because it's slightly different to the base material. I used like a plastic type effect for the grip, and also the back armrest part to it. So I'll just add a few more bits into that. So this is fully textured at the minute, but I still need to add more detail onto it. So this is where the normals come in. So I've added a bit more detail. Turn those off and on. You can see there's a bit more detail into there. So where I haven't put any bolts in some places, I can just stamp them in and it works just fine. Bring some text in, which I think that was a blank layer. So I've got some more patterns in here, which give a really nice effect to the model, and up here as well. And if we add a bit more, I've got some just paint stamps that I've put on there for like a nice effect to it. And the text, so that's indented into the gun. So fire and safety mode, let's put on both sides of that. The grip, I've added some nice detail to the grip and hand painted some of the patterns in there just to give it a nicer touch. And also some normals into the back part of the armrest. So this layer is the mag, so I've just drawn 2 indents into the mag, just going straight down on both sides. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Okay, so to finalize this piece, I just duplicated the gun, added some more bullets into the scene, and put them all on a blank plane, so that when I came to rendering it, it would give a nice clean look. Here are a few final renders of my FM15 assault rifle. More of these images can be found on my portfolio website. So to find my other work, you can go to my gallery on the portfolio page. It will just give you a few more images of my Activision work that I did last year. And the FM15 rifle is also on there. And there's also some YouTube links, ArtStation, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. If you need to contact me, I'm contactable by Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or you can contact by email or mobile. And there's more information on my educational background and day-to-day life on my About page. Thanks for watching.